Welcome back. African stakeholders in the petroleum industry are attending an oil week conference in Cape Town, South Africa. The week-long conference commenced on the 3rd and it's slated to end on the 7th of October 2022. The conference provides a global platform for stimulating deals and transactions across the African Upstream. For more details on this, I'm now joined by Namcor's Executive of Strategy and Business Development, Ndeunyema. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the Daily Roundup.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me.
All right. Briefly explain to the viewers the significance of the conference.
Yeah, I think the conference is quite significant, and obviously it's been going on for the past 25 years. And as you've indicated, it brings together various players, major oil players, international players, investors, independent operators, government ministries and associated agencies, including professional services in the oil and gas industry and national oil companies such as Namcor, together to really discuss and look into opportunities of mutual interest and pursue areas of mutual interest and collaboration. And then perhaps most importantly, also look at the challenges facing the oil and gas industry. High on the agenda are issues relating to climate change, especially ahead of the COP27 summit, in the COP27 climate change summit taking place sometime in November, early November, in Egypt, and of course, in light of the rising levels of energy poverty globally and locally. So, why is it important for Namibia to participate? And I think as you've been probably reading in mainstream media, Namibia has always been a oil and gas frontier, and obviously owing to its proximity to historical geological proximity to Brazil, and Brazil being a major oil producing country. So there was always prospectivity. And whenever we attended these conferences, there was always interest in Namibia. But the two discoveries in the Orange Basin have now become a game changer for Namibia, and all eyes on Namibia. You don't, or you hardly walk into a room and Namibia doesn't pop up here at the Africa Oil Conference, essentially. So it's very exciting times for Namibia, and perhaps most importantly for us, with the new discoveries, we aim to really walk away with some key learnings and see, and learn from those that have gone into production, and draw some valuable learnings, and then avoid some of the pitfalls and mistakes that other national companies have done, essentially. And then perhaps most importantly is really to network and establish those collaborative relationships to pursue this new discovery.
All right. Now, the theme this year is sustainable growth in a low-carbon market. Talk to us a bit about that and how it relates to a country that has yet to fully capitalize on the latest discovery of fossil fuels.
Yeah. So when you talk of low carbon, it's really twofold. So you're talking about low carbon in the context of exploration and production activities. So here you're looking at, reducing your carbon footprint when you are undertaking exploration activities, and then of course a commitment to reducing your carbon footprint and associated emissions. So that's key. And then of course this is a platform where the various industry players share how they are going about reducing their carbon footprint in that regard. So the second conversation is around the global energy transition. And then, of course, Namcor, key to our strategy is really honoring the dual priorities of one, deriving value or socioeconomic value from the resource, whilst honoring the dual priority of environmental preservation. So really having that conversation around the transition and moving away from fossil fuels, but again being honest with ourselves to say, look, in as much as we do strive towards a green economy, there is a conversation to be had around a funded and paced and a just energy transition, if you like. So that's the sort of center stage conversation that's being had.
All right. So how is Namcor promoting the findings to international markets?
So I wouldn't say Namcor's promoting the findings per se. I think we're probably promoting the prospectivity of the Namibian oil fields, or blocks, if you like, because there's always been good speculation around, a working petroleum system in the Orange Basin. Now that we have these discoveries, there's great interest around the Orange Basin and associated basins, essentially. So this is an opportunity to market other blocks and invite investors to pursue these blocks with a view of obviously embarking upon exploration activity. No doubt there's a heightened level of interest on the part of international oil companies, independent operators, and investors to look into these blocks and look opportunities there. So that is the key endeavor.
All right. And what are some of the desired outcomes for Namcor from this conference?
Well, so it's been 48 years since we've had a discovery. The last discovery was in 1974, 48 years ago, with the Kudu gas discovery. Now we've got these two discoveries in the Orange Basin. So we're new in the oil production business. So there's an entire process that needs to be undertaken. There's a couple of appraisal wells that are being drilled by Shell and Total, our partners in these two blocks, and developing the oil field and getting to production, first oil, essentially, is a bit of a stretch. Although our operators are quite ambitious in terms of getting to first oil. I think we're talking about 4 years' time. During this period, there is a heightened need on the part of Namcor as the shareholder representative to ramp up and prepare ourselves for greater participation in the oil and gas industry. So we see these platforms as opportunities to learn and really partner with those that can add value to our service offering and really ramp up Namcor to fully harness the hydrocarbon potential of Namibia. So from a strategic perspective, we've really positioned ourselves in our strategic business plan to say, well, we want to craft a new a strategic plan that really prepares the Namcor of the future. And key to that is leveraging the endless possibilities presented by these two oil discoveries, essentially.
All right. Now, Mr. Ndeunyema, before we let you go, any final remarks?
Well, I mean, it's a very exciting platform. Meeting various players, industry players from the world over. International, oil majors, independent operators, professional service providers, and also our fellow, African countries that have struck luck a few years ago and have gone into production, just exchanging notes and really establishing, those networks to pursue at a later stage for benchmarking and so forth. And it was also quite exciting to see fellow Namibians, specifically the private sector, really trying to understand, how they can leverage opportunities presented by these two discoveries by attending such platforms. So it's really exciting times, and I look forward to a very fruitful week. And Namcor, the Namcor team is quite excited to be here.
All right. Mr. Ndeunyema, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That was Namcor's Executive of Strategy and Business Development, Ndeunyema, talking to us about the Oil Week conference that is currently taking place in Cape Town in South Africa, and it's set to end on the 7th of October. And he was touching on what Namibia is set to benefit from this and what it will learn